How about now? You guys should be able to hear me now, yeah? There we go. I think we're good. I'm starting to see some audio levels. No sound at all at this point? Oh, okay, there we go. I was like, yes, yes, yes. What's up, fam? Happy Hump Day. Remember 9/11? You know what I'm saying? Um, May those people who lost their lives that fateful day long ago in 2001, may they rest. Um, we're gonna talk about a subject today, fam. That as always, I think me being the angry black sheep, I think that the subject bears discussion. First of all, before I even get into it, though, fam, couple of quick side notes. First of all, thanks to all of you for your patience during this move. As you know, I had some technical difficulties. I thought it was some issues with the computer. Just had to make sure that everything's all squared away, right? So, for your forbearance, your patience, in allowing me that space to be able to do the needful while not running off, I definitely appreciate it, fam, because, there's a lot of ADOS content, providers out there, content creators. I am definitely not the only one. So I hope you were able to get the inspiration, the education, and the edification you needed while your man, the angry black sheep, was incognito, so to speak. Second of all, fam, as usual, I want to remind you all of the links in the description of every video. There's links to reports there, books, information to help you get up on your advocacy, purchase of which helps to support me and my work. There's also links to my Patreon. I'm asking people to put $5 on it, but hey, even $1 a month helps, and it's appreciated. So give what you can, right? Support your interests, support your media. Before I get started, also let me shout out to my brother Tazabah. Been too long, dear brother, and I'm glad to see you live with us. Happy Hump Day to you. Agent Smith's in the house. Happy Hump Day to you. Miss Denny, of course, in the house. I love the sister. Thank you, Miss Denny. Big H in the house. The Cool Man in the house. Michael DeJean is in the house. AL, what's good, fam? I see you, right? You know the rules, fam. If you're here, you don't have to say anything in the chat, but let us know you're here so we can shout you out and show you some love, because I appreciate your time and your eyeballs, your hearts and your minds for the little time that I've got it. So let's get right into it, fam. Today's topic is one that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time, but I never kind of get around to doing it because there's always something else that pops up. Something happens in the news, or something happens with the stupid Democrats that people want to talk about, right? So I never really get around to this topic. But I think this topic bears repeating over and over and over again, because I don't think that a lot of us really understand truly the depth and the ramifications. Shout out to you, by the way, Brother John. Happy Hump Day to you and welcome to the broadcast. Fam, you need to understand that the process under which we exist here in the United States of America is at its core a process of recycling. Thank you, Miss Denny, for the love. I definitely appreciate it. What do I mean by that, fam? So I need to give you a little bit of background on your man, right? I am probably one of the few, if not the only, black hippies you'll ever meet, right? Just keeping it a full buck, right? And I don't mean like I don't take baths and shit and this, that, and the third. I just mean that I'm real big on the environment, right? Look, you can laugh at me if you like. I talk to animals. I talk to squirrels. I literally hug trees, fam, right? When it comes to the environment, nobody loves the environment more than your man Mark Black. So in my household, recycling is a huge thing. Like, anybody who lives here will tell you, fam, that Woe betide you if you throw a paper plate in the trash when it's supposed to be in the recycling. Mark Black will have to get him a proper chunk of that ass, all right? And so, as a part of that whole ethos of recycling, there's a little phrase that us greenheads like to use, a bit of a mnemonic to describe the process of recycling. And that mnemonic is renew, reuse, recycle, right? Renew, reuse, recycle. Now, what validity does that have to us as ADOS here in the United States of America? I think, fam, that part of the reason why we haven't seen the groundswell of movement, of support, of cleaving to our lineage and pressing home our justice claim is because at the end of the day, we don't understand how white supremacy renews itself, reuses us, and recycles everything. Nothing is wasted under white supremacy, right? I mean, think about it. Only under a system like white supremacy could you have the very concept of human resources, right? Human resources. Think of people not as human beings, right? Not as sentient, sapient, self-driven beings desirous of autonomy, and to reach whatever goals they desire to reach. No. They are resources. Tools at best and property at worst. But if you think about it, fam, who were the first human resource managers in the United States of America? If it were not the founding fathers. I call them the founding philanderers. 201, almost all of them were slaveholders. 201. Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and so on. They were in the business of human resources. They would traffic humans brought and sold via the triangular trade from Africa to the Caribbean, the United States, and so on and so forth. And they, on their plantations, managed huge amounts of human resources with a lick of a whip, a harsh word from an overseer, the threat of a beating, or worse, selling one of your family members to another owner, another plantation. They were able to drive the largest economic engine this world has ever seen, greater than the Roman Empire itself, who they hold up as the largest empire ever throughout history. But I need you to understand one key fact as I elaborate upon this mantra, if you will, this mnemonic of renew, reuse, recycle. I need you to understand that this process of our enslavement is not and has not been over with since we've been here. It hasn't. It clearly hasn't. Fam, when you look at the data, when you look at what constitutes the reality of ADOS existence in this piece, by the way, shout out to Easy Be Easy. I'm glad you caught me, fam. I'm glad to be here for you. Welcome to the broadcast and happy Hump Day. When you look at America, both macro and microcosm, and you look at the reality of our circumstances as ADOS, there is truly nothing that has changed for us since we've been here. We may take what looks like 2 steps forward, only to find ourselves 3 steps back. We might make progress in legislation, only for them to continue to rape us economically. We might embrace a liberation theology, only to be driven into exile or the grave, like our esteemed ancestor Martin Luther King and others. Every generation, white supremacy renews itself. And how does it do it, fam? Well, like all things amongst human beings, it starts at home. That's right. The white woman, the Becky, that you think is the nicest, sweetest lady, sits there on her lunch breaks at the job, knitting scarves and granny squares. Never a harsh word to say to anybody. All sweetness and light, cookies and cream. When she goes home to her children, she is raising the next generation of white supremacists every single day. And it is not one, it is not a few, it is not, a minority. It is the overwhelming majority of white women. To start. Because women are the bearers, the carriers of culture. They are the ones who deliver culture and socialization to the next generation. They're the ones who initiate that process. Remember, you've heard me say it before. Mother is the name for God on the hearts and lips of children. Shout out to my brother, Mr. Spacely. Welcome to the broadcast and happy Hump Day to you. When you look at the reality of our circumstances here, you realize that many times on the plantation, the brutality, the absolute brutality, the rapine, the desire for more gain was driven by the need to please some white woman more than it was to please a man. Let's just keep it a buck. Brothers, you know what I'm talking about. When it's just us, man, we don't care about much of anything. You give a group of brothers some charred meat and a place to sit, and we can make all the entertainment we could ever need. Brothers will get together. If they stuck out in the woods, they're going to build them a motherfucking log cabin and call it. When a brother is single and he's operating solo, and this is not to belittle family life, because I am a householder and a husband myself, but I'll be damned if life isn't a hell of a lot easier. When you only have to consider yourself, the moves you make seem to just flow. And things are simple. I remember the first apartment I got. I thought it was balling out of control because I got a studio apartment with my name on the lease. A studio. I was cool with everything in one room. Right? But once I start engaging with the women in my life, now I have to provide for them. Now I have to provide for any offspring or children that we might have. And that easy, happy-go-lucky life that I had as a single dude, Just ain't there no more. Now, there are new joys that come along with being a householder. Again, no disparaging of being a husband and a householder. But it is to say that it is truly a fact that women are the reason why the world exists the way it does. We build the world our mothers tell us to build. That's a fact. Whether you're a white male or a black male or a Latino male, doesn't matter. So the renewal of white supremacy and the renewal of ADOS subjugation starts at home. Our parents who tell us to follow outmoded ideals in the hopes of being respectable enough, of being acceptable enough to the society at large, that we will no longer be considered a threat simply for breathing, simply for being children of the impossible. That is how we work to continue white domination over the United States of America. Every generation, there is a renewing of the contract. Whites and those classified as white at the top, and blacks, the American descendants of slavery, at the bottom. That contract is renewed every single generation without fail. You are born into it, and I am born into it. And rarely are there opportunities for us to question, not necessarily even to work to change anything, but to simply have the mental wherewithal to question the right of the status quo to remain the status quo. The renewal process continues unabated. Everybody told me that, hey, all we have to do is wait for these old white folks to die, and racism will be all gone. They obviously weren't prepared for the millennials who will go and shoot up a school just because some black dude who played basketball took the girl that they liked. They never even talked to her. But they felt entitled, and so, bam, they shoot everybody. They weren't prepared for the onslaught, the racial onslaught of the millennials. Because the millennials have mastered the language of being able to navigate multiple ethnic spaces, the white ones at least, without having to commit to actually being a part of those ethnic spaces. This is why you have this onslaught of multiculturalism, but it's a faux ersatz multiculturalism, because truly, all it is a white interpretation of what other cultures and societies and ethnicities are. Or do you really think that every Mexican eats like they eat at Chipotle? Did you think that everybody's fried chicken is like Popeyes? I'm just saying, fam. The renewal, every generation ensures one simple thing, that everybody in America is required to see America through the lens of whiteness first, period, including us. You know how I talk about ADOS as being a lens through which we can now ask questions and frame a proper worldview that is conducive to the advancement, to the growth of justice and righteousness and peace for us? The reason why I state, fam, that ADOS is a lens is because for so long we've worn the same damn white supremacist glasses as everybody else in America. Fam, it's a truth. No other people would stand for a comedian of their ethnicity to come out and say, man, I gotta tell you, I just gotta say it. I love white people, but I hate honkies. It'll never happen. It'll never happen, fam. You know, I have to come out and say it. I love being Jewish, but I hate them damn Shylocks. Right? Them shysters, kikes. Hope YouTube doesn't ban me for using ethnic slurs. I'm using them as examples. My point is, fam, is that we have seen each other through the same damn lens that everybody else looks at us through, the lens of whiteness. How else could Chris Rock get up on national TV and say such obscenity? Because it is obscenity. We all heard it. And to show you how deep the rabbit hole goes, to show you how deep the indoctrination is, to show you how comfortable we are wearing these damned glasses of white supremacy, every single one of us, including myself, fam, laughed our fucking heads off at that joke. You know it, and I know it. We laughed ourselves stupid. And some of us shook our head and said, yeah, I hate niggas too. No other comedian of any other ethnicity could pull such shit and get away with it. But see, when you wear the lens of whiteness, looking at blackness looks like filth. It looks like the lowest of the low. It looks like ghetto. It looks hood. It looks ratchet. Stop me, fam, if I'm telling a lie here. The same lens through which everyone, what it do, Black Man 903? Happy Hump Day to you, fam, and welcome to the broadcast. You damn right, Chad. I got my ADOS blue blockers on right now. I can't see shit but ADOS stuff clearly. But look at what it's taken for us to get there. But see, fam, renewal, every generation, it's just part of the process. Because, fam, there's a reason why white supremacy does the things that it does. And I'm going to piss you off right now by giving you the answer as to why white supremacy is the way it is. Because the answer truly to this is so simple that you're going to be pissed off that you didn't see it earlier if you haven't seen it. So come close, fam. Come close, fam. White supremacy does what it does because it works. Because it works. Why try to reinvent the wheel? Renew, right? Refresh, right? But here's the thing. There's always the same old, good old-fashioned standbys. You know, the ones that are always going to be 100% certain. By the way, shout out to Colin. Happy Hump Day to you and welcome to the broadcast. These go-tos of white supremacy, they keep coming back to them because they work. They try to tell us, all your peoples have ever been as slaves. As if we don't have ancestors like Bass Reeves, as if we don't have ancestors like Ida B. Wells Barnett, as if we don't have ancestors like Nat Turner, as if we don't have ancestors like Denmark Vesey, as if we don't have ancestors like Martin Delaney, as if we don't have all these long, esteemed, amazing American names that we can lift up to the highest heights of glory. But see, fam, when you wear the lens of whiteness, blackness is ahistorical. We don't have a past. We don't have a past. As blackness, as ADOSness in America, we're not allowed to have a past. Because as long as we don't have a past, they can continue to deny us the future. By the way, shout out to Golden Dinar and Darker Visions, fam. I see you. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. Without a past, fam, they can continue to deny you a future. You are ahistorical. You're a historical accident. We don't know how these niggas got here. They just showed up. Black Dollars is in the house. Welcome to the broadcast, fam. I see you. Happy Hump Day. See, so fam, why stop that? Chad said, appreciate you, brother Black. B1. B1 to you too as well, fam, and thank you for the support. But why would white supremacy continue to push this obvious bullshit narrative that we somehow or another exist outside of history? Because it works. How many of us even stop to look at our history? Right? They either try to tell us that we need to look outside of our own tribe for some connection to time itself, or we're lost. How many of you, ADOS, have heard, y'all don't have no history. Our language, our gods, our everything was taken away from us. We got nothing. How many times have you heard that? I'm here to tell you today that as long as you're human, anything that can be taken away, you can get back. Maybe it's not the same, but you can get back. Black people stop believing in the gods that they brought with them from the homeland, but that doesn't mean they stop believing in God. Tanzania, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love. I really do appreciate it. And you know I'm going to keep whipping them. Fam, like Chad said, we get one page about slavery in the history books. But this is why it has always been key for us as ADOS to talk to our families. Your big mama, your grandmama had more encyclopedic knowledge about history than her white counterpart that lived over across the street. Because that white woman that lived over across the street didn't really have to know her family history. She had the luxury under whiteness to exist as an individual. But your grandmama and your grandpa knew that they were a part of a people. And only since we bought into the bullshit myth of progress did we start acting as if we didn't come from the people we come from. I, as your brother and one who loves you, should not have to beg you to cleave to your lineage. I should not have to beg you to reach out and grab my hand when I call you fam because of slave plantations and breeding farms. That may be more true than you will ever know. All 4.5 million of us that were here at the end of slavery were probably more related than we thought. We shake each other's hand, give each other dap, say, what's up, bruh? How do we know we ain't brothers of a sort? Besides, what is a brother but somebody that you share ties of not just consanguinity with, but you also share ties of history, of love, of lineage. I got brothers that my mother no more fucking made than the man in the moon, but would bleed for me and would die for me, and the same from me to them. If that's not brotherhood, then I don't know what is. We the same damn tribe, forged in the crucible of the plantations of the killing fields of the South. It doesn't matter that we can't trace our lineage directly back to the Mende people or the Dalman people or the people from the Bight of Benin or from whoever. It doesn't matter. Because by birthright, by blood, and by fire, we earn the right to cleave to each other in our own unique heritage and our own lineage. We are our own damn tribe. Full stop. With many gods. I've got brothers and sisters who are Hebrew, who follow and worship the Most High, Yah. I got brothers and sisters who are Christian. I got brothers and sisters who are Muslim. I got brothers and sisters who are Wiccan. There's some brothers and sisters of mine that don't believe in any gods at all. And you know what? It doesn't fucking matter because we are still all the same tribe. All of that exists within the bloodline that is ours. All of that is in our DNA. Like Kendrick said, I got royalty inside my DNA. That doesn't necessarily mean we all came from kings and queens. But what that means is that like a king or a queen, we can have an elevated sense of self that goes far back in history as we want it to go. White supremacy through the ADOS lens can no longer deny our past and thus can no longer stop us from claiming our future. Why is it that you think, fam, that we're getting so much flack? Believe it or not, fam, we're not getting the flack from the people. Okay, so fam, the people that they told us were racist, right? Like Republicans and Southerners and this, that. We're not really getting all the flack from them. Tell the truth, fam. When you talk about your specific justice claim, your heritage, your lineage, and you talk about it to white folks, who's the ones that are giving you the most flack? The so-called progressives, the so-called liberals, the soft racists, I call them. Fam, I need you to understand that the process of white supremacy is renewed every single generation, and they keep rehashing, reusing. Double C said, my man, you're back. Mr. Education, ADOS for life. You damn right, ADOS for life, and thank you for the love, fam. I appreciate it. They keep rehashing the same old tropes, the same old arguments, right? Fam, when it was just naked, unabashed, full-bore hatred and a willingness to murder us, it was easy to spot what white supremacy looked like. But we never had an effective defense for soft racists, right? Because soft racists come to us and they talk like human beings. They say to us, there is no justice in what's happening to you. There is no righteousness in the trauma multi-generationally that you and your people have to face. They talk like human fucking beings. But like the scriptures say, inside they're like whitewashed tombs, filled with all things unclean, right? They talk to us like justice, like peace, like righteousness is the order of the day, until you demand that they get their asses off your back, which is the cause of the injustice. Remember, I mentioned to you that quote by Leo Tolstoy about the man riding, about he's riding on a man's back and loudly lamenting to everyone who will listen how willing he is to make this man's life better, to ease his hurts, to end his harms, to end his wounds, everything except getting his ass off his back. America renews its commitment every generation and reuses the same strategies of division. ADOS man versus ADOS woman versus ADOS children. Because we treat our children worse than we treat each other at all. Religious versus non-religious. Upper crust versus ghetto, ghetto hood. Right? And so on and so forth. The same old divide and conquer strategies and tactics that have served white supremacy in good stead since our ancestors' black bodies was under the African sun. The same old strategies and tactics. They reuse them generation after generation. The suspicion of ADOS folk anytime they try to make any moves. You know, it's funny. Everybody likes to quote our sister Harriet, who said, I freed 1,000 slaves, and I would have freed thousands more had they only realized they were slaves. Everybody likes to quote that. But what people don't like to admit is that most of those people, when presented with the opportunity to strike out for freedom, would be more likely to actually turn somebody in to the overseer or to the master than to actually break camp. I'm not saying that we were a fearful, scary people, but what I'm saying is that survival is survival. And we still have that same mentality today. We haven't found anything worth dying for as ADOS. So we don't really have much worth living for. Right? Let me share with you a little something that I've studied, that I've looked at. Back in the day, I was a huge Japanophile. Right? That was before I realized, how xenophobic and racist the motherfuckers is, right? But I was a huge Japanophile. Right? Try to teach myself Japanese. Fam, Japanese is a hard-ass language to learn. And let me tell you, hard. And so I started studying Japanese history. And of course, the one thing that looms on the horizon for every Westerner when you start studying Japanese history is the era of the Seitai Shogun, right? The shoguns. The samurai and all that other shit, right? Now, they allegedly had a code similar to chivalry, right, in Europe that the samurai followed. Now, to be fair, the samurai were just bloodthirsty, has motherfuckers who, lorded it over everybody else as long as they could, and then when peace broke out, they tried to, give some philosophical spin to the shit. But the concept, the idea of Bushido, or the way of the warrior, right, came to epitomize the samurai in their latter days before the ending of the samurai class under Emperor Meiji, right, during the Meiji Restoration. One of the things that I learned from Bushido is that at all times, a man must be prepared to die. You must live as if death is your very next step. Because only when you are prepared for death can you truly embrace life. And I used to think, what the hell kind of shit is this? It didn't make sense to me that I need to just say death is coming before I can enjoy my life. But then it hit me. What it was saying is that death comes for us all. That is not the fearful thing to be afraid of as a human being. You should be more afraid of how you face your life knowing that death comes than anything else. How do you live your life? Do you live your life to the full, kissing babies, hugging a woman, talking to squirrels, jumping out of a motherfucking tree if that's what you feel like, swimming in an ice cold ass river, eating a squid simply because you never ate one before? Do you live your life like that? Or do you just walk on the dotted lines, never missing a step, fearful of taking a turn a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, even though death is coming for you just like it comes for me? So once I had this realization of what Bushido meant by embracing death in order to live life, I wrote what the samurai called a death poem. Here is my death poem. At the moment of my death, this question I will ask. Is it possible to hold my breath and it forever last? I have it memorized, but I not only have it memorized, my family has it memorized. So should I fall for any reason, they got me. And I wanted to share that with you, fam, because I wanted you to understand one important ass thing. This lens that we wear, this lens of ADOSness that we're starting to take and put on and take off those white supremacist glasses, requires a shift in how we see life. It's never been about my own individual life. I'm merely the instrument of my ancestors. They lived so that I could be here and continue to fight the fights, to bleed in the battles that they fought in, and so on and so on and so on. It ain't never been about me. But before you think the samurai got the hammerlock on the whole understanding death to embrace life thing, I think the Christians hit it pretty good too. Paul said to live is Christ, but to die is gain. So if I die, I'm cool. And if I live, I'm cool too. So let's ride. Fam, now we come to the last R before I open up the lines for y'all to call in and talk with me. Right? The last R is recycle. Now you would think that reuse is the same as recycle. No, it's not. Because reuse takes something that exists and uses it in the same form. Right? Like this cup. By the way, this cup is no longer available, fam. This was the first cup I offered on my channel for support. When I use this cup, I can use this cup to have a sip of liquid out of. I can use it as a change jar, right? What is useful to me, fam? That's right, Black Dollar's got one. What's useful to me, by the way, shout out to Lisa. I see you, sister. Welcome to the broadcast. A happy hump day to you. What we have to understand, fam, is that what's useful to us is the emptiness inside the cup. That's a whole nother bag. Like, now I'm getting on some old Taoist shit. Let me go get back on track before I digress. Right? But my point is that in this form, I can continue to reuse this cup in a multitude of ways, right? So in other words, it becomes sustainable. It's not just a coffee cup. It's a storage container. It's a scoop, and so on and so forth. But recycling is different. Recycling takes the old and changes its form to continue to use it, right? When you take plastic and you throw it in the recycling bin, they take and chop that shit up, mix it up with other plastics like it, heat it up, melt it down, then they reform it. And next time you see that cup, it might be the cover on your printer. Or it might be the veneer inside your car. It's still plastic, but it's changed form. And it's changed form so much that you may not even recognize that it's changed form. Now, why is this important to us as ADOS? Because, fam, I told you that it is the illusion of change, of difference, that allows us to continue to act as if the status quo isn't the status quo, right? To act as if we're any better off in 2019 than we were in 1619, simply because we don't recognize what slavery looks like today. That's right. Slavery's still here. They haven't. You think they would give up something so lucrative so easy? No, fam. Slavery is still here, but we have to pay attention to the form that they molded it in, right? They took and crumbled up the old slavery, right? The chattel slavery. They crumbled that up in the machine. They put it through the grinder called the Civil War. They said, nope, no more chattel slavery. We can't rock with that, right? But we as ADOS didn't pay attention to what was extruded on the other side. That when you took all of its constituent parts together still equals slavery. Right? We saw racism on the plantations, and we thought, well, they're not acting like that now that we're off the plantations. Things must be different. Then you do a cursory glance at history, and you see all throughout the South and parts of the North that the former slave codes became the black codes, and then ultimately became Jim Crow. Peace, Alma. Happy Hump Day to you, and welcome to the broadcast. See, fam, recycling is one of the most potent tools in the white supremacist arsenal. Because through recycling, they still retain the essence of white supremacy, generation to generation to generation. And yet, not one ADOS person in a million seems to be able to spot how it morphed. We don't see how it changed into its newest form, its newest iteration. Fam, let me ask you a question that I hope somebody calls in and talks with me about today. Do you know truly how hard it is to innovate something? To truly come up with something new? Do you know how hard it is to be a creative? I'm saying this as a man who doesn't have an artistic bone in my fucking body. Shout out to all my artists out there. Trust me, I've tried. I've tried drawing. I've tried wood shop. I've tried rapping. I've tried playing instruments. I am not that guy. You creatives floor me with what's in your imaginations and how easily you're able to bring what's in your mind out for all the rest of us to share in and to see. You artists, y'all take the cake. Y'all seal it up. Y'all Y'all the shit. So, for those of us who are not fortunate enough to be artists, we can get fairly good at an imitation of artistry. We can get pretty damn decent at playing at artistry. But all we're really doing is iterating what the true creatives have done, right? Someone truly creative. Look, say what you will. I'm a 80s child, 70s, 80s child, right? Say what you will, but parachute pants was a motherfucker. I thought those was the coolest pair of pants I'd ever seen in my life. With the zippers and the fabric, just everything about them. I thought it truly took somebody unique in the head. Thank you, Darker Visions. I never think of it really as that, as an art, but I guess it can be an art form of sorts, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I loved me some parachute pants. I thought they were the most unique damn thing I'd ever seen, right? I remember the Thriller jacket, and I said to myself, there's no way a jacket could ever look so good. Seriously, everything about that jacket was just the bomb, right? Somebody truly creative sat down with Michael Jackson and said, I'm about to pimp you out, Mike. Watch this here. And the glitter glove, oh shit, don't even get me started. But my point is, fam, is that for those of us who are not these creative types, we iterate. Now, far be it from me to say that the so-called founding philanderers were not creative. Because how in the hell could you write words like all men are created equal with the same unalienable rights under God and so on and so forth, and then go to your house and rape your slave girl? Right? So you have to be on some truly mentally creative shit to be able to justify that juxtaposition. But everybody since then, they ain't invented nothing new. There's nothing new about white supremacy. We got the same old, hoary, gray-haired, fucked over, half dead ass white supremacy that our ancestors had. The only thing is that the emperor is wearing some new clothes and we think it's a new day. It's still the same old rotten ass, wrinkled ass, black hearted, evil ass bastard underneath those beautiful robes that it's always been. Recycling, fam. Recycling. There is nothing new under the sun. And there will be nothing new in America that we as ADOS, as the American descendants of slavery, need to fear from America. America's already showed us its worst, and we survived it. Do you understand that, fam? The next time you get to feel in some kind of way, seeing some Johnny come lately jumped up motherfucker from some other place come here and take what's rightfully yours, I want you to remember something. By the way, peace to Joan in the house. I see you, sister. I want you to remember this. You are a member of the only tribe to have experienced the very worst that American can offer anybody. And not only did they not destroy you, but you and I, brothers and sisters, are the living evidence of their crimes. That's right. Do you know why America is so loath to hear us speak? Why they're so afraid of our unification. Why they're so afraid of us clasping to our lineage, our heritage, and fighting for our justice claim. Do you know why they're so afraid of it? They're afraid of it because if we can do this, what can't we do? If we can take the nine-headed hydra of the United States of America and lop off all nine of those damned heads, what can't we do? There are so many people in this country. By the way, shout out to my beloved sister Christine. I see you, sister. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. Colin, I see you too as well, fam. Oh, I'm going to go there. There are so many people here in America who have a vested interest in ensuring one simple thing, that the American descendants of slavery do not see who and what they truly are. So many people. So many people. So many. There are people who make their living off the fact that we don't know that we are our own tribe, our own people. There are people who make a great living off of the fact that we don't understand that our history in this country is richer than anybody else's. And we're still here to tell the story. Not to throw shade at the Native Americans, but most of them died off from disease and shit. A lot of tribes ain't here to tell their stories. But mine is. My tribe's still here. Here I stand. Here and no fucking further. No remediation, restoration, or repair. See, it's right there on the cup. Remediation, restoration, and repair. No remediation, restoration, or repair. No peace. Simple as that, fam. America does not get an inch from us anymore. We are no longer the mules. We are no longer the ass kissers, the backbenchers, the ones who sit back and let everybody else eat a piece of the cake and hope we get some crumbs. No. We are here for what is due us. The debt is due, and it will be paid. Come hell or hot water. And we ain't having it no other way. Not while we wear these lenses. Not while we see through the lens of our unique history, our unique lineage, our unique heritage. Lineage matters, fam. You don't have to ever feel less than to somebody like Bernard Sanders. That son of a bitch just got here. He owes you respect, not the other way around. You don't have to beg him for answers. You tell Bernard Sanders what you want to tell him, and he either will fall in line or he will have to fall back. You don't have to ask Robert O'Rourke what his policies and plans are. You tell Robert O'Rourke what the deal is. And he either gets on board or he gets gone. You don't have to ask Kamala the Chameleon Harris anything about black, anything. You have to ask her nothing. You tell Kamala what it is that you demand. And she can either get right or get left. It's a new day, fam. Renew, reuse, recycle. Not for white supremacy. It's good for, taking care of the environment. But it's not good for people, like you and me. No more. No more allowing the same old tropes to be used against us over and over and over again, every single generation. It is us demanding a change, period. Demanding that the debt be paid, that justice is honored. No more honored in the breach, no, honored in fact, de facto. That's your and my job. That was the job that we were tasked with as the children of our forefathers. They were tasked with maintaining white supremacy. We were tasked with being the runaway slaves, to be the ones to come back, grab as many folk off the plantation as we can get, and put in that work with fire, shade, and smoke and blood if need be. That's all I wanted to say, fam. 425-296-1980. You know what time it is. That's the number. Give me a call. What do y'all want to talk about today, fam? Renew, reuse, recycle. Which one of those things you needed some elucidation on? Which one of those things you were a little hazy on that you were glad that Brother Black helped clear up for you? Add to the conversation, right? They talk about us by 2053 basically being economically dead in the United States of America. And we just supposed to roll over. We just supposed to go, oh, well, that's too bad. And just quietly fade the hell away. No, 1,000 times no. My ancestors didn't bleed, cry, suffer, get beaten, get lynched, get raped for me to be here to roll over for nobody. I don't have that type of sucker shit in my DNA. My people are not runners. We just ain't. We on the front line of every battle. Shout out to Crispus Attucks. We not the cowards that a lot of people try to tell us like, oh, you know, if this was a black movie, they'd have ran away from the monster. Bullshit. ADOS had always run to the monsters. You know why we always ran to the monsters? Because we knew we couldn't get away from them. So best to run at them. If you're going to die, let it be today. Because afterlife got to be a damn sight better than what I'm dealing with here. We ain't never been no cowards to run away from the monsters. Let them come. ADOS don't fear no damn zombie. We ain't sitting there hoarding up food for the zombie apocalypse. Shit, ADOS is going to kill the zombies and save everybody like we always do. We live with the monsters for 400 years. We've lived with the monsters. You see this? These colors don't run. 425-296-1980. I wanted to keep it short and sweet today, fam, because you know, Sister Yvette gonna bring the heat. It's Wednesday. She usually gets it in on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to her broadcast tonight. Fam, I just wanted to come back after this move and the technical difficulties with some inspiration, with some eye-opening, with some elucidation on the clear fact that there is nothing new into which, you know, what we face under this society. There's nothing new. And I need y'all to understand that. Calling from 301, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Mark Black, what's going on, baby? What up?
What it do, Black Dollars? Brother Travis in this piece. Woo! What's good, fam? Holla at me.
Man, hey, it's good to hear you. I'm glad to see you back, man. I've been down a little bit myself. I've been a little bit sick. And
yeah, I heard you was under the weather, brother. I hope you're feeling better, man.
Yeah, I still got a little bit of sickness, but I just wanted to call and just piggyback off what you said, man. You know, we have to use all of those resources simultaneously.
Yes.
You know, where we're reusing, renewing and recycling, because every day it's something new that's happening to foundational Black Americans. And then we have to remember that we're not just fighting against white supremacy. We're fighting against the plantational Black Americans
Yep.
who are co-opting with white supremacy, and that makes it a little bit harder on us. So for us, we have to have this mentality and the spirit of a warrior, where we're saying, "Give me liberty, give me freedom, or give me death." And right
Facts.
now, you have to, Mark, you got to be able to look at yourself every day and say, you know what, today, I wake up every day and say, today could be the day that I die,
Yes.
because I could get pulled over by a police officer or race soldier, and I can do everything right. And if I get the wrong race soldier, my
That's
life's
it.
over. But I'm hoping that no matter what happens to you or me, the lineage continues, the ideology continues.
That's
You know, we
right.
have to continue moving forward no matter what. But I ain't saying I don't want nobody to ride for me now. I
Oh,
want
fam,
my ADOS to ride for me.
I hear you.
You
You know
know,
I'm gonna
so
be out there in them streets, fam. Look, I'm telling you, I can't be that guy, right? I'm not gonna roll over and let somebody hurt my people and I can do anything to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Or do anything about it. No way. I ain't gonna sit here and elaborate on some of the things that I ponder upon, you know what I'm saying, especially in the era of, Micah and Cosmo and others. But I will say that we need more of us to understand that death comes to us all. So go ahead and embrace
yeah,
life to the full. Live life every single day, ADOS. Don't be
that's
afraid
right.
to fight. Don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to hate. It's all a part of being a human being. One of the most beautiful things,
And
Travis, that I heard somebody say to me one time is that we are the universe getting a chance to experience itself. You feel me, bruh? We star stuff, man. We made from carbon that come from the heart of stars and iron that come from the heart of stars. How the hell you gonna tell me I can't be great? I come from greatness. Billions of years of greatness. How you gonna tell me I'm a lost people, that I have no history, that I have no past and thus no future? You don't know me, fam. Like the brother said in the chat just now. Colin Spencer, he said, when we fight, we win, and that's facts. The only thing is, Travis, and you know this just as well as I do, bruh, that we gotta get people to fight. That's all it is. We got to get people to
that's the
commit
hardest
to
part.
fighting. That's it.
That's the hardest part.
That's the
That's it.
hardest part. That's the
You
hardest
so
part.
right.
Sir, I'm gonna
You
let you.
so
I'm gonna
right,
let you
Mark.
have the last word, fam. Go ahead and talk to us, fam.
Yeah, I just my last thing I want to say is to all of the angry black sheep out there, I'm so proud of everybody. I know a lot of people that's in this chat, just from seeing you in the super chat with Yvette Carnell, seeing you with Tonio Moore, and seeing you with other platforms, to read whoever it may be. Guys, just keep up and understand that the work that you're doing, everybody is not like Mark Black and myself, where they can get on a video and just talk. Some people are just doers. They do things behind the scenes. Whatever it is that you have, and the resource and tangibles that you bring to ADOS, make sure you use them at 100% capacity,
That's
because
right.
the ancestors, as Mark Black said, the ancestors have given us the lineage. They've given us everything that they had to fight for freedom, for us to be able to be here and call ourselves American.
That's
If
right.
we are truly American and we American DOS, we got to make sure that we make our voices heard to the masses, not only foundational black Americans, but white Americans as well. Because
Facts.
white Americans are trying to pump this fear into us and say, hey, well, you guys don't deserve reparations. We're not voting for that. Or you have a plantation of black Americans say to you, well, we're not going to give reparations. White people not going to give us reparations. We don't need them. We don't need white people to give us reparations.
We
We
don't.
need ourselves to unify.
That's
And as
right.
Mark Black said, the only thing that we need to do is unify. And that is all we need to win the battle of freedom. So,
Facts.
guys, just take care of yourselves. I love all of you. The Angry Black Sheep, Mark Black, you my brother from another. I love
Thank
you,
you,
man.
brother.
And keep up the great work. And tell Miss Denny I said hello. And fam, we coming. I'll see you at the conference. I'll be there on Thursday. So I'll see you at the conference.
I hear you, fam. You know what? That reminds me. I gotta make an announcement real quick. Let me go ahead and take this call. Caller from 323. It's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Man, brother Black, this is Chad from Los Angeles. Man.
Chad from
B1.
LA. What's good, fam? What it do?
B1 fam, man.
B1,
I just
sir.
want, first of all, I want to thank you for all the knowledge and the truth that you bring, 2 to 3 times a week, brother. Like you just don't know. I called into a vet show at one point and I told her that ADOS saved my life.
Yes, sir.
Right? It literally, because you walk around, you feel that you're crazy in this world, in this mad world, in this white supremacist world, right? Because we walk around with these lenses on, and ADOS, like you say so many times, gave me a different perspective and
That's
a different
right.
view and a way to see this world. So I know it's not just me, right? Like I feel my tribe now. I feel the love within my tribe now. So just like the last caller said, we are building out here, people, and you got to understand that all the work that you're doing, whether it be on the front lines, whether it be behind the front lines, wherever you are, and whatever your talent is that you bring to the table, it is building an army of ADOS. And we come in marching, and we are not going to be stopped. Because just like you, I ain't got no coward in me. I ain't got no quit in me, because I got 400 years. Like, I trace my ancestors back. We come off of Mississippi plantations. I know exactly where we from, right? And we walk through this fire, and I know that's why I'm here today. And so I'm not gonna drop that mantle that's been passed on to me. I'm gonna carry that forward. And like I said in the chat, I'm bringing my daughter to the conference in Louisville, because I know this ain't about me. You know, once you have children, you're not living for yourself anymore.
It's all about them seeds.
Exactly. I haven't been living for myself for over a decade, right? But now I know, even if I fight, if I fall in this battle, I know my children are going to come behind me. They're going to pick up my sword and they're going to continue that
That's
fight.
what I'm talking about, raising some soldiers. I'm with that.
Exactly. Renew, reuse, recycle,
yes, sir.
Right? And ADOS is going to be renewed every generation. If I have anything to say about it in my lineage, in this family, in this tribe, it's going to be renewed every generation coming forward,
yes,
until we achieve this goal. And so what all of these detractors, what all of these people standing against us got to understand is, it ain't no stopping this. You might come get me. You might be able to touch me, right? But guess what? It's going to be an army of people that's going to come up and say, oh, no, you just took down one. We coming forward. We picking up that sword. And we marching forward,
Chad,
right? So it ain't no
crazy,
stopping
bruh? You know what's crazy, fam? Is that we don't even understand what a weapon we wield. For the first time in the history of our travails here in the United States of America, we finally have a leader that America can't kill.
Absolutely.
We have our heritage, our lineage, our history. They can't murder our history. They can't lynch our lineage. Our ancestors are our ancestors. The debt is the debt. The claim is the claim. They can't do shit to stop it.
Facts. Nothing's going to stand in the way of this.
That's
and they haven't, we know this because we down here soldiers in the field, so we see it, right? And when you a soldier in the field, you know when you got the enemy right where you want them, right?
Exactly.
And that's how I'm looking. That's how I'm looking down my sights at them, like, oh, you right where I want you right now, because I know you scared. I see you scared. You already showed me you scared, right? Mm-hmm. And I know this army ain't getting no smaller. Day by day, we only getting larger, and we coming. I keep saying that on Twitter. We coming, right? And you can try to ignore it. You can try to blind your eyes or hide your face or whatever. You can do all that, but it's not going to change a thing, because at this point, it's wildfire, right? And any ADOS that hears the message, I'm spreading it everywhere I go. Every time I step out of this house, I meet somebody, they look like me. My first question is, where you from?
Where you from? Exactly.
My next question is,
checking the credentials, fam.
I'm checking your credentials. Next question, where your people from?
Yep.
Right? And so if you come from where I come from, then we brothers. We sisters. You my sister, you my brother already, right? I love you off the rip. right? So I don't care where you at, what you going through. I love you off the rip, and I'm gonna treat you with love, and
That's
I'm gonna
right.
tell you about this loving movement, because that's what this is. It's the power of love. We galvanizing that love from 400 years back, right? Because they've been pushing that love forward to us. So, fam, I just want to tell you, you are a truth teller. You are a truth speaker. I appreciate you so much because I watch you and I get inspired, right? It makes me want to go out and make change in my immediate area, right? And where I'm at. So
that's all I'm about, fam. If I've done that, then I've done my work.
You
Those words
keep doing the
please
work.
me more than you
Keep
will
doing
ever
the work.
know.
Absolutely, fam, man. I love you.
Love
I'm
you
gonna
too,
see you in
bro.
Louisville. I'm gonna give you a big ass hug, fam. So just know, we and everybody on the phone, that anybody that's listening, right in the sound of my voice, just know we gonna win this thing.
Absolutely.
Because our enemy wasn't prepared for this. They wanted to keep us asleep. The fact that we're now waking up, they wasn't ready for this. They thought it was going to be easy. They thought they were going to hit 30 years from now. We were going to be net wealth zero, and we were going to go away. Like you said, we're going to fade away quietly. Say, oh, what we going to do? That ain't going to happen.
Not today. Not while I'm
today.
black ADOS and breathing. It's not.
Facts.
Hey, I appreciate
I love you,
fam,
brother
man.
Black.
I love you too, bro. And thank you for the kind words, for the support. But more importantly, man, thank you for raising the next generation of soldiers, fam. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, man.
I ain't got no choice, fam.
Yes,
I ain't got no choice. They got to be soldiers. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, I hear you. All right, fam, you take it easy. And call again, man. Appreciate it. I'm gonna turn down this call because I got an announcement that I need to make, right? I know many of you were planning on seeing me at the inaugural ADOS conference. However, with the move and other financial situations being what they are, I'm just not able to call it this year. However, I will be tuning in to the broadcast when they do the live broadcast or what have you. And I'm also going to speak on it. You know what I mean? Because I believe that this inaugural ADOS conference is going to be the key pivotal moment. The key pivotal moment to break through. Extra ticket to sale. So I have tickets, but I'm not selling them. And there's a reason why. So I know Brother Ibrahim is in the chat. Brother Ibrahim hit me up about tickets. Brother Ibrahim, the reason why I have not kind of hit you up about it or whatever the case may be is because I got tickets. I actually have 4. The problem is that when I first heard about the conference, right, before they announced how much it was, when Yvette first mentioned the inaugural ADOS conference, I went right to Eventbrite and I signed up for the conference. All right. Now, here's the thing. When I got my tickets free. I did not have to pay anything for those tickets. However, I do know that admission for the event is $15 per person, right? So the reason why I haven't hit you up, Ibrahim, is because I don't want to sell you tickets, first of all. Like if it was just a matter I wasn't going, but I already had the tickets, I would hold a round, I'd hold a drawing or something. Y'all know I give stuff away all the time. I would just give away the tickets, right? So I wouldn't sell them to you in the first place. But second of all, I'm not certain if the tickets will be honored because I got them for free rather than paid the admission. You feel me? So fam, the short answer is yes, I have tickets. However, I can't be certain that those tickets are good, right? And I don't want to fob those off on somebody, have you go all the way to Louisville only to find out that you basically, out in the overflow because you didn't have seats. I wouldn't do that to you, right? What we do as ADOS proponents and advocates is about transparency and about accountability, right? I can't very well sit here and say to you, fam, Actually, Tansonia, I really do appreciate all of your offers to get me to the conference, but I also wanted to bring my family too, and I'll be damned if I burden, my viewer base with carrying me and my entire family. No, it's all right that I missed this one. All right, much as I want to be there, it's okay because I believe that this is the first annual. I'm not saying the inaugural. This is the first annual because every year there will be a gathering of the tribe. There will be gatherings locally. There will be gatherings regionally. And yes, there will be gatherings nationally as we start to come together and harness our forces, right? Understand me, family. This is the first of many. And I encourage all of you who have tickets, make sure you show your butts up there because I will be having a pop quiz. I will open up the floor and have you call in and share your experience. This is going to be something like no other. Do not think I'm missing out. My family, y'all are going to be there. So I already know that whatever you take from it, you're going to bring from me. I am already grateful to you in advance for the knowledge, the blessings, the joy, the fire that you're going to share on this broadcast from your experience at the first annual ADOS conference. So please, I appreciate all of you and your love and your support, but understand, next year, your man's going to make preparations, be all of that. I'm going to be there and be square. And I'm coming there with my camera, my mics, everything. Because as you all know, I'm putting together my Patreon not for my personal edification benefit, but to get better equipment, to get better broadcast situation, right? So that I can provide better information, more advocacy. You feel me? So make sure that if you haven't already, done so or consider supporting me via Patreon. Like I said, $5 a month don't seem like a lot. And it isn't a lot for, if you can go and spend a burger, whatever, shoot $5 your man's way. Because it's an investment, not just in me, but in you. So fam, I know there was one other caller, and I appreciate it, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, only because I know Sister Yvette is going to go hard in the paint tonight, and I don't want any of y'all to miss it. Again, I want to thank you all for the opportunities to share your time with you, your hearts, your minds with you, to have your eyeballs for this brief period of time. It is truly my honor, my privilege, and my duty to be the best brother that I can be to you and provide you with the best information, the best inspiration, and more importantly, the most love that I can. So fam, be prepared for Sucker Free Saturday. Looks like we back up and running, so I definitely will be broadcasting for Sucker Free Saturday this Saturday. Be there 4:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And until the next time I see you, fam, as always, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power, real power to our people.